Hi, in this guitar lesson for beginners, I'm going to show you how to play an open G major chord, a variation of that chord, and also an easy chord, plus a little bit of theory. When I play the G major chord, I use three fingers, these three here, the fourth, the third, and the second finger. And if you look on the guitar chart up there, you'll see where I place the fingers. I've got the little finger on the third fret of the top E string. I've got the second finger on the second fret of the A string, and I've got the third finger on the third fret of the low E string. And it sounds like this. So I like to play the G major chord like that with those three fingers because I find it's very easy to go from G to other chords. So for example, such as G to C. There's your G position, and there's the C position. And you'll see that these fingers here, that one there and that one there, don't move very much. Also going from G to G7 is a cinch. Look at this. One finger's changing. Going from something like G to E minor is also quite simple as well. There's your E minor, and you'll see that this finger here stays on the same place. Check out the link in the description for the other chords, E minor, C, G7. They're all in the description. So here's a little bit of theory. No rolling your eyes. To make up a major chord, you need a minimum of 3 notes, also known as a triad. And if you look here, there's a G major scale. And the 3 notes that you need to make up a chord are the first note in the scale, the third note in the scale, and the 5th note in the scale. So if you look at that scale there, the notes that you're going to need are G, B, and D. So looking at the picture of the guitar just there, you'll see the low 6th string at the 3rd fret is a G note. You'll see that the 2nd fret of the A string is a B note. But where's the D? Well, it's the open string. The open 4th string is a D. So there we have our triad, G, B, and D. Now the other strings on the guitar, what are they doing then? Well, the 3rd string, the open string, is a G. The 2nd string, again it's open, it's a B. And that top E string is also playing a G, just like the bottom E string. So there, in those 6 strings are the notes that we need to make a G chord. Now let's have a look at the variation I mentioned earlier. And we'll talk about the easy version after this, so stay tuned. Now the variation, again, uses 3 fingers, but this time, instead of using these 3 fingers, it uses these 3 fingers, the 1st, the 2nd, and the 3rd. And they go onto the fretboard like this here. The 3rd finger goes on the top E string at the 3rd fret. The 1st finger goes on the A string at the 2nd fret. And the 2nd finger goes at the 3rd fret of the low E string. And exactly the same as before, you can play all strings like that. And there you go. It's a perfectly good shape. Many guitarists use it, but the reason why I prefer the other version that I showed you before is because of how easy it is to get to other chords. So for example, if we look at this version of the chord G here, and then we try to change to C, there's a lot more going on. And for a beginner guitarist, that can be quite a difficult change. The same again for G to G7. A lot happening. Even though it's a great way of playing the chord, it's not my favourite way. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't learn it. Okay, so here's the easy version. And the great thing about this, it uses only 1 finger. I'm going to use the 3rd finger here. And it's going to go on the top E string at the 3rd fret. like that there. Now be careful here, when you play this one, only play the top 4 strings. Now the advantages to this easy version is that, well, yeah, it's only one finger. Also, it gets you started playing this rather difficult beginner's chord. And also, this was the first version I used. The disadvantages, on the other hand, is that you can only play the top 4 strings, as I mentioned, and so you need to use your thumb to dampen these 2 strings. And otherwise you'll have this sound here, which is quite murky, it's quite muddy, and it's not what we're after. And plus, these 2 strings are not part of a G major chord. If you're getting value out of this lesson, then please hit the notification button for more content just like this. Something I would always recommend to beginner guitarists when you're learning new chords is, yeah, they can be difficult to remember. So I would always recommend having a little guitar book on hand just in case you forget. Something like, ta-da! This is a great little book, the Guitar Chord Book. You can keep it with you at all times. And it has all the guitar chords you need. So which version of the open G chord do you like? The first version, my preference, the second version, or the easy version? In fact, where are you on your guitar journey? Let me know in the comments, I'd love to hear from you. So why don't you check out this lesson on C here, or this lesson on G7 here, and I'll see you in the next video.